Hello everyone, welcome back to Pillars in the Shop YouTube channel. I told y'all in the first video that I was going to give y'all a quick tour of my shop and give y'all some idea of what's working for us and what's not, and some other ideas we have to try to make my shop a little more user friendly for what we're going to do. So let's get started. You can see I have a lot of stuff in my shop. I have shelves that's full of stuff. So we're going to start here. I have, just like everybody else does, I have lawn care equipment, weed eaters and such, chainsaws and whatever stuffed in here. I really don't think that kind of stuff needs to be in here. So I'm thinking about getting a storage container. And I have obligatory junk all over the top of my fan. I don't know who does it. Over in this corner here, you'll see that I have most important appliance in the shop. That's the adult beverage refrigerator. It's actually a freezer. And I put a separate, let me see if I can show it to you. I put a separate device on it to control the temperature. There it is up there. And I set the, if I remember correctly, I set the temperature between 30 and 34. So I get beer out of there. Well, I shouldn't have said beer. I get adult drinks out of there around 32, 33 degrees. Perfect. Truthfully, the reason why I bought that was so that I plan to brew beer, and I'll show y'all that here in just a minute. Behind this fan is a little old wire-free welder. I bought that wire-free welder back in the 90s. Yeah, before you laugh, it is cheap. I think I paid $125 for it, but I'm not a welder. I would never do anything commercially or anything my life depended on with that weld. But the mud dauber I've had to do for the past 25 years, just fix this, that, little nothing to it, that has worked quite well. So, but I think it's on this last leg. My son-in-law used it recently to weld up an exhaust on his car, and he thinks it may have finally, with a big welding machine hit. But we'll see. Back in this corner here mostly stores stuff to cook with. And as you can see up on that top shelf, not everything showed the plainly, but most all that is cooking stuff. Those two boxes there on the left, those are empty, but they got styrofoam inserts in them. But we want to take something to keep it cold, we use that. Air fryer, that big box right there is actually a popcorn machine. And of course up above it we have a margarita machine and an ice cream maker. And that box right there is actually empty, and I'll show you what goes in there in just a second. Then on the bottom we have assortment of fryers. There's a base to a big fryer. Big aluminum pans. My daughter got these aluminum pans from a lady that they had a bakery. She asked if I wanted it, and I said, well, sure, give me some of them. She's got about a dozen of them, and they've come in real handy. I've actually used some in their vehicles just to catch some oil dripping or whatever, because I have some anything. More fryers. That's a white box and microwave. Little igloo coolers. Hey, y'all, those are great if you barbecue a brisket or something, or pork butt, or chicken, anything. And you want to throw them in something to keep them warm for a while before you're ready to feed. Or we do steaks and you want them to rest. Those things are great. Keep the flies off of them, they stay warm. I really like them. If you ever get a chance to see them on someplace you can buy one, you want to get it. roasters in the trash bags, and assorted coolers. And then some tools. Down there's all my pots, big pots. We can make stews, chilies, dumplings, and of course boiled crawfish, mud bugs, and more just stuff just filling up my shop. Heaters. I use them in the winter. I don't need them right now, but they're in the way. Another thing about this table is that all that stuff is sitting on it. That's a good work table, using to store stuff, and that's really a waste. We could use it for other things. So I'm really thinking seriously about getting a storage container. Again, here's another table, and it was full of stuff. I actually cleaned it off some, and it's kind of slowly getting filled back up again. And you can see the bottom of it used for just general storage, just mostly wood scraps and scrap metal I may use somewhere. I got another scrap metal pile outside that if it gets rusted up or rained on, it don't bother me too much. Some of the stuff in here, I'd rather not get rained on if I can help it. And underneath the very bottom, you can't see it for that white board, but I have some 10 by 20 tents. And we put up outside pretty regularly. I think we're thinking about putting one up in front of the shop just so we can get out there and do sanding. We don't sand on wood stuff. But we don't sand. I'll get to that here in a minute. I'll get a little ahead of myself, but I'll explain that to you as well. And as you can see, the wall, just knick-knack stuff I've collected over the years. Another fire base that I can fly on. This stuff has just been given to me. And you'll see the puzzles that we did those. And over the years, the wife and grandbaby just put those together. I built a special table just for them to do that with. Now we're getting over here in a little kitchen area. We do a lot of cooking out here, especially on weekends. This is kind of family central. We may fry foods, we may barbecue. We don't never really know, depending on what we're hungry for. But this is where we keep all our utensils and forks and knives and sink, whatever. You see it all. See all the pots and pans. I have a whole lot more I need, but again, those things just kind of showed up. So here we go. To show how well I keep everything separated, I got fishing poles behind the stove. I know. And the extension cord you see on the ground, it leads out to our little paint shack. And that gives us power out there when we need it, because I haven't got around to tying it in directly, but I will. We'll get to that soon. This is what was in that empty box I spoke earlier about. This is a snow cone machine. If you want to be a hero with your grandbabies, get you one of these. Because they will love you. You'll be the greatest guy in the world. You'll be as popular as Santa Claus is. We don't use it every day, but generally on weekends, we'll make some snow cones for them. Machine was a little expensive, and of course the syrups are a little expensive as well, but you know, it ain't like we're doing them every day. So it's been well worth the money and put a lot of smiles on a lot of faces. And what I suggest, if you do this, you're going to bring it over to my freezer. A lot of people will buy ice at the store and put it in there. But what I suggest is bottled water. Put it in here and let it get hard. And what I usually do is take the end of it on my vise over there, and I'll hit the very end of it, bam, like that, and it'll crack it right in here. Then I'll take a utility knife, a razor blade knife, carefully. I gotta do a score it. You don't have to go real hard, don't hurt yourself with it. Just score it around there, across the bottom, and back up the other side. And then it'll just open up, and where it broke at the top, it'll come out from this piece down there all in one piece. Then you'll just take it, of course, raise this, and I'll cord it on it, drop it down in there, shove it. My oldest daughter, her job is to hit the power button, and all it makes just like snow. It's great. If you use crushed ice that you buy at the grocery store, you can use that. And I know I'm not doing very good camera work here. This is my first time. Just bear with me. But you can use crushed ice. But what happens is, because it melts a little bit, when you grind it up and you put it into a cup for a snow cone, it will, when you pack it in there, it'll tend to refreeze. And it'll be so hard that the ice, when you put the syrup on it, it'll actually run down the sides of the snow cone ice and down the sides of the cup, won't go into it. This here doesn't do that. This here stays real fluffy. Like I said, kind of like snow when you use that stuff. But anyway, that's just a suggestion. Again, excuse my camera work. I'll get better with it as we go. As you can see, I got stuff in the middle of the shop. That's my 82 Jeep. I really like that Jeep. I spent a lot of time on it this winter, tore the whole dash out. But all new gauges, and stereo, and lights. Really cleaned it up. It was kind of sad looking. It's a little dusty right now, but it runs like a champ. Looks great at night. Cleaned it up. Anyway, I really like it. I've had it for quite a while. I never could really drive it much. I even considered selling it a couple times when I was working. And once I retired, now I have the time to drive it. So that's my plan, is to. I try to drive it on the weekends. Did drive it in this weekend because I got me some bad gum poison ivy last week, and I stayed in the house all weekend. But I like it. It's one of my favorite vehicles here. And of course, I know you've noticed I have a lift. Now the lift is not, I wouldn't call it commercial grade. Of course, you can see the brand name of it, and you see the size, 11,000 pounds. If I made a living picking up vehicles, working under them, this wouldn't have been the lift I'd have bought. But for what I do, it works just fine. I'm not afraid of it. I believe it's very safe. I got a very good deal on it. Folks I bought it from was about 20 miles away. We went and picked it up, put it on my trailer, and brought it back here. I went up there and talked to them about it. I think it was 9,000 pounds. And the lady that ran the place that sold them, she talked me into getting 11,000 pounds. She said, she told me everybody wants 9,000 pounds, and nobody wants the 11,000 pounds. So I had to do some measuring to make sure it fit into my shop. And as you can see, just barely. And so she made me a pretty good deal. She sold me this lift for the same price as a 9,000 pound lift. And the sweetener deal, she threw in these two jacks. I have two of them, which on her website lists at $250 a piece. So I only give like $3,600 for this. So I think that's not too bad. I mean, the old retired guy, I don't have a problem with it at all. Now I will say this. I really would have wished I'd have had the room for a full post lift. It would have taken up a lot more room, but it's so much easier to deal with. Because you just, of course, you just drive up on top of them. You know, here, I have to crawl under it. Not completely under it, but I have to crawl under it. Make sure all the arms are in the right place. Because, you know, these things can fall off these lifts if you don't get them on there correctly. So then I'll bring it up, let it touch the frame. And I crawl back under it on each corner to make sure that it's centered. If not, I have to lower it back down just a little bit and bring it back up. So I may have to, you know, get down, up and down 6-8 times to get them to make sure they're in the right place. But then I'm happy with it. I feel safe with it. But with a 4-post lift, you just drive it right up on there and down. But, okay, so of course, I put that in. I bought a little small ATV jack. Put my own little rack. They want a lot of money on it. Jeep parts websites. So I built my own. That's where that little mud job and wire feed welder came in. It works. It holds them up there. We'll wrap this little tour up pretty quick. Another corner of it. Let me show you real quick my other Jeep. We got a 2004. As you can see over there. I like it too. I got a pretty good deal on it. It only had 41,000 miles when I bought it. I bought it 3 years ago. It's only got like 51,000 on it now. It's a really nice Jeep. And we have a little pop-up kiosk. That's our painting booth when Candace is painting furniture. So we do all our cutting and sanding and all of that outside. We'll either do it in my shop or we'll do it out here. As I said earlier, I have more of those tents that I can set up to do that kind of work out here. That way we don't get, of course, don't get sawdust all in our paint room, and we don't get sawdust all in the shop. We would like to put in I'd like to put in a porous slab and have it just covered, just the top, no sides. And that may happen yet. Right now, things are so expensive. I'm just waiting to see if maybe I can. If I can do it or not, I'll just have to wait and see. All right, this is the other corner. Of course, that's the Children Drinks refrigerator. A little stereo, jump. You see, I put a loft in, and we put stuff up there we're hardly ever going to need. Coolers and water over there to it all. And you'll see there's a TV there. That is a 50-inch TV. And if you remember, I remember in the first video, but I mentioned that I was not a mechanic. I'm not. Never had a mechanic job. I learned, I diagnosed problems with vehicles with Google, and I learned how to fix them on YouTube. That's where I get the YouTube at. I have it's satellite, not satellite. Well, we stream everything, and I stream YouTube channel on there, and I find a channel that's doing the work I need to learn how to do, and I'll start and stop it. Every time I show you one step, I'll stop it, do that step, boom, and usually I'm having pretty good luck getting it done. You guys, you know, I tell you, that's a very small investment. If you're not confident, which I'm not, in my abilities to work on the vehicle, there's still things I want to do, but there's a lot of it I can change parts like anything. But that's been a big help. Again, moving right along. Jump. I say jump. Tools. I got too much stuff. Way too much stuff. I mean, I got so much stuff that's pushing out into the shop itself. More stuff for the cooking. There's odds men, nuts, bolts, parts, you name it. Just all kinds of stuff. I don't really like having a big ladder in here all the time, but I don't have a place to put it that'll keep it all together. And you see it's a 12-footer. It goes all the way to the roof. And we got more table, baby pool. Keep it up here to keep the dog and the bigger kids out of it. Toy box. We got grandbabies. This little desk, daughter gave me, and I turned it into a work desk, put it on some wheels. I roll around, put the car up, put the Jeep up, whatever, roll it under with me, put my tools on, parts on, whatever. Tell me what like it. That there, in the back of it, that's one of those luckily outdoor boxes, storage boxes. And this box is an outdoor box. So there's really no reason to have it in here. That's where we store all our swimming pool stuff, our floaties, and even our beach stuff, like our umbrellas and stuff like that. That's where we put it all in here. Again, more stuff, just stuff on top of stuff. This is that little table I told you I built for them to do the clothes on. Right now it's just too hot. I ought to show you all that. Probably won't, but Our days on now, each day this week is going to be 98 on the belt. Another shell, which is, everybody has these kind of shells. Down there, I got tons of toolboxes. And they're all hold specific things, and I have wrote it on there what they are. Might be plumbing, PVC fittings, as you can see on that one. That box right there, impact fittings. That yellow box is all electrical stuff. The box right next to it is all electric and manual staples. Anyway, whatever, it's all hand power tools or recorder or battery operator kind of thrown up. Looks bad, but we got them in one place. Old, what you call it, make it pretty. And out of there, and my beer brewing stuff. Haven't brewed beer in a long time. I plan on getting started again. But a lot of stuff, like most all this in here, and that black box and that toy box and that shelf full of bolts and nuts and all that, they don't have to be in here. I don't see why I don't buy storage containers and get them out there. Same with these the boxes on top of Jeep lights. I have the original Jeep lights in that top box that came with that 04 Jeep. And I started to cough, and I said, nah, I just hang on to them. And I came across them on one of those Jeep Parts websites. It was like $98. This was a couple years ago, $98 each. So I'm glad I hung on to them. But I'm buying those are all bigger PVC fittings, so I mentioned I have on the chop saw, another cheap power tool. You know what? I have used it year and a half. So what I pay for it is perfect. And again, just busting and stuff like that. These little cardboard boxes you see, I hang on to some of them in the barbecue, and I'm sure all you guys do too. I'll put a piece of it off, not much I need, and I go slice up my pork butt and brisket or whatever. I put it on there and slice it, and then when I get through, I can just throw that away. And just, you know, have it roasted, put up a cutting board with an electric knife or anything like that, real handy. So I keep a piece of the cardboard all the time. And we're back to the buffer polish running on to grinder on the 22 buffer polish. And we're going to get started on that here in just a second. Alright guys, let's get back on this grinder. I'm going to turn into a buffer. I got the tools ready and everything. I wanted to show y'all something that you guys probably figured out already from my last video. One thing, I was right about the switch. You'll see the switch does say 220 at 20 amps, 250 at 20 amps. Nowhere on the nameplate does this say anything about 250. It shows, I think, 110. I also was concerned about the RPM. I wasn't too sure just how fast a buffer should spin. I didn't think it should be that fast. So I mistakenly thought it was saying 1450 on the slow speed, 2875 on the fast speed. But even though it does show two speeds, I don't see a 2-speed switch. And that could possibly be because this switch was swapped out at the bottom. It may have had a 2-speed switch in it, you know, left fast, right slow, middle off, something like that. That doesn't matter. I'm pretty confident. So let me back up. I got a closer look at it, and the fast speed is 3450. Oh, that's a lot faster than I expected. So I wasn't sure if buffer wheels should spin that fast. So I did a search on desktop buffing desktop mounted buffers, and sure enough, they all spin around 3450. That's good. That means I have the right speed for this old grinder. I think it works very well. I also said, if I remember right, that these washers weren't going to fit. The washers weren't going to fit the buffing pads. Little did I realize that the buffing pads in the package were two, and they were pinched so tightly together, and I don't know if I can recreate that, but they were pinched so tightly together in the package it looked like one. And so I was reading the package on it, thinking I was going to have to buy another one for the other side with some different types of washer. And on the package it said, you know, ×2. So I took the package off, and sure enough, there was two buffing pads on there. So, my bad. Didn't know what I was talking about. So I should be okay on the washers and on the pads and the speed. So now it's just a matter of getting this old rotten thing off of here. And we'll get started on that. This thing's only got 4 volts holding down. It won't take a whole lot. This great thing is it's ½ inch all the way around. All except the head on this bolt here. The head on these 3 bolts is a ½ inch. The head underneath on that bolt's 9/16. There's always something. Let's get those off of there. Try to anyway. May end up having to tilt it over while you get on. Wait a minute. We're going. I'm not much of it. I got bad knees, so I ain't much for getting down on my knees. If I can help it. I know it seems like I'm ready to sit in this chair, but I might be as low, I'm going to sit in the chair. Squat. Food. I've already looked at this table. I know what you're thinking, and we'll discuss that here in just a minute. There's 3. Well, some nuts too. Now I gotta change out this auto. We'll find this one. There it is. Out of the way, so I don't have to but I don't know how long it's been up here on this table here. It's been here a long time. This is repurposed table. I know you can tell what it is if I get this grinder on the floor. I'll just move the grinder to the side. It's an old table saw table. I don't know anything about it, where it comes from, who it belonged to before I got it. It belonged to my brother before I got it. Who it belonged to before he got it, I don't know. But what we're going to do is we're going to clean up the motor. We'll sand it all up real good. And then we're going to paint it. Degrease this table real good. Paint it. Put it back. And put those wheels on. The buffer wheels. And I think it's going to work out pretty good. You won't know till we try. Okay, so I have them cleaned up pretty good. This is the table. I think I got all the grease, as much as I could, off the top of it. It's going to be good enough what we're going to do with it. I'm not going to worry about the bottom side that has the blue part and the aluminum legs. I mean, they don't really have anything to impact on the buffer doing its job. So I'm going to I just wanted to make sure we didn't have any grease and dust and stuff like that. I want to make sure it's cleaned up before I put that back on there. I also have the motor cleaned up. I think I got it cleaned up pretty good too. And I took the tape off. Taped it off. Faceplate, threads and all that. So I think, I need to do the start button. I'll get that done and get it painted, and then we'll come back. One thing I wanted to show y'all, this is the back of my shop, and it's about as cluttered as everything else I have. And what I wanted to show y'all is the bumper crop of wild grapes. They're all in these trees above my head. I don't have any use for them. I mean, they are edible, a little bitter, but we were kids. We actually used to take them and try to make wine out of them. Now, we didn't do a very good job of it, but we would try. We would mix them in a can, put some sugar in them, smash them up, get the juice out of them, put them in a coffee can, put some sugar in them, and about 2.5 hours later, we'd drink the wine. All right, we were kids. But I tell you, one thing else we used to do is the grapevine, especially the older dried up ones, we used to smoke them. Just like a cigar. Wouldn't get you high or nothing, but they had a hole right through the middle of them. So you catch one about this long, light one end of it. It was like smoking a cigar, and burn your lungs up pretty good. But we were young and dumb, but we did it anyway. But I thought y'all might get interested in seeing all these grapes. So there's just tons of them here, and I'm sure some people still maybe make jelly with them, maybe they make wine in them, but probably most people just like me, they let them fall and just let them lay where they fell at. Anyway, I want to show you all that. Well, as you can see behind me, I pretty much finished the buffer. Went ahead and got it painted and got it bolted down. I didn't think that you guys would have any interest in watching me put a couple bolts in. I only put one here, one in the right rear. I torqued it down pretty good, so I don't think they're going to go anywhere. What little we're going to use it. We won't use it a whole lot, but we'll have it when we need it. So I just painted the top, then paint the base. Didn't see no reason to waste the paint. And I painted the motor. Mostly that was, so I was going to clean it up anyway and get all the oil and rust off of it, so it didn't get into the buffing pads. And put a coat of paint on it, maybe that'll slow the rust down for a while. I got the buffing pads on there, and they fit real well. And I realized I had two and not one, and the washers will work. And I'll turn it on for you, and I think it runs pretty smooth. Pretty quiet, pretty smooth. So that's going to be it for this little project, and I hope to share more with you. Don't give up on my daughter Candace. Like I said, she has a full-time job, and I'm real aware of it. I haven't missed it yet, but this part of Texas, we're going through a heat wave. So when she gets off and gets home in the evenings, it's 98, 99 degrees, and it's kind of, if you've not been out in it most of the day, kind of you don't want to get out in it. Me, I'm here in this shop with 40 fans running, and I know that causes us problems with the sound, and we're going to fix that soon. You know, it's just one step at a time, but we're going to keep trying to make videos. She'll get involved here pretty soon. We got a lot of furniture to work on. We got a whole little storage shed full of stuff that we need to get on, and we're going to share that with y'all. Bear with us. We're going to get better at it, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. So until next time, guys, be safe.